The movie begins with a young boy named Jacob. On his 10th birthday, his twin brother Daniel is killed. This scene leaves a lifelong shadow on Jacob, shaping his eye for an eye approach to solving cases. One night in Memphis, a young woman with a bomb strapped to her body lies on the ground. Detective Jacob quickly arrives at the scene. He comforts the girl, telling her not to panic, then uses his experience to determine that the assailant is likely hiding nearby. Sure enough, the criminal Billy is hiding in an apartment building, and Jacob sneaks up behind him. A fierce showdown between the iron-willed detective and the serial killer begins. As Jacob beats the criminal, he asks how to defuse the bomb. The criminal says to cut the black wire, but Jacob notifies his colleagues to cut the yellow wire instead. Just as expected, cutting the yellow wire causes the bomb to stop ticking in the final second. Jacob knows criminals like him well, and using violence is the best way to deal with them. However, Jacob's method of solving cases soon brings trouble. The legal oversight organization CDLU has filed an appeal against Jacob's violent actions, but Jacob doesn't care. He knows that when dealing with scum, relying on the law alone isn't enough. That night, Jacob is driving his black suburban SUV home. As soon as he opens the door, his girlfriend Selena appears holding a glass of red wine, clearly having waited for him. Selena is also a police officer. She had heard about Jacob's appeal during the day and came over after work to comfort him. But Jacob says, "That criminal killed 4 people in 5 days. I had no other choice." Selena responds, "You're too reckless in your work." Just as Selena tries to comfort him, Jacob refuses. It's clear he's troubled by something else. The murder of his twin brother when he was 10, a memory that haunts him. That same night, as rain pours down, a streetwalker accidentally breaks a heel and walks through an alley in the rain. Suddenly, she sees a man placing a baby in the backseat of his car. Thinking the man might be in trouble, she approaches to help. However, the man is Lazarus, another serial killer. He specifically targets young women, kills them, and leaves astrological symbols on their bodies. No one knows why he does this. The next day, the police find the body of the woman killed the previous night. Jacob arrives at the scene, and his partner Storm informs him that the victim's name was Jessica, a server at an erotic bar. While examining the body, Jacob keenly notices a special symbol behind the woman's ear. Jacob suspects it's part of the killer's bizarre ritual. He then heads to the erotic bar where Jessica worked, searching for clues. A waitress recognizes Jacob as a cop, but refuses to reveal much about Jessica. So Jacob gives her a tip to get her to speak. Money talks, after all. Before the waitress can say much, 2 bouncers approach, clearly not liking customers who ask too many questions. But Jacob, as usual, isn't deterred, and a fight breaks out. After taking down the bouncers, Jacob invites the waitress to a quiet place for a drink. One of the thugs secretly calls for backup. Just as Jacob steps out of the bar, the thug pulls a gun and chases after him.
Get that motherfucker!
The gunfire quickly attracts the police, and sirens blare. The thug attempts to flee, but is shot down by Jacob. The other 2 thugs seize the opportunity to escape. Meanwhile, a man wearing sunglasses walks out of the bar. He is none other than the killer, Lazarus, who murdered Jessica. The scene shifts to the police station. Due to the increasing number of murders, FBI agent Miller is sent to oversee all operations at the station. She specifically inquires about Jacob's methods, but Storm says Jacob deals with scum and must use extreme measures. That night, Storm finds Jacob and tells him about FBI agent Miller's arrival. He also mentions that Miller dislikes Jacob's methods. Jacob knows new trouble is brewing. On the same night, a young rich heir notices a sexy girl in a red dress at the bar. He bribes the bartender to introduce him to her. After the dance, the bartender tells the girl that a super rich man wants to meet her. The girl agrees, but suddenly, the heir is strangled to death from behind. The next day, the police station receives a report of a rich heir found dead on the 15th floor. FBI agent Miller arrives at the scene just in time. Jacob greets her briefly, and it's clear they don't like each other. After examining the body and the traces on the floor, Jacob concludes that the actual crime scene is not here. He then discovers a strange symbol on the body. Miller dismisses it, but when the coroner tries to collect bodily fluid samples from the body, Miller, seeing this for the first time, vomits. It's clear she is a typical office academic. Soon after, Miller hears an argument upstairs, thinking it may be related to the case, so she goes upstairs to check. A young married couple is fighting, and when Miller kicks the door down, the man, clearly agitated, assumes his wife called the police.
You didn't have to hurt him.
But this turns out to have nothing to do with the murder case. Back at the police station, Jacob starts studying the special symbols left by the serial killer, hoping to find some clues. Meanwhile, a prisoner is released from jail. He is Billy, the murderer whom Jacob had kicked off a high building. Jacob's kick didn't kill him, and Billy spent a large amount of money hiring top lawyers. Since the police had no direct evidence of him killing anyone, he was quickly released. His first plan after being freed is to get revenge on Jacob. At this moment, Jacob, through the strange symbols left by the killer, seems to have found some clues. He plans to go to the library to research the meaning of these symbols, but little does he know, Billy has secretly followed him. At the library, Jacob is carefully studying information related to these symbols when the librarian informs him that the library is about to close. Jacob agrees to leave, but as the librarian organizes some books, she sees the symbols Jacob wrote on a piece of paper and immediately recognizes them as the name of a band, Death Threats. Jacob asks where he can find them, and the librarian tells him they perform every week at a bar to the west. After the librarian finishes organizing the books, she turns off the lights and leaves. However, as she boards the bus, she is being followed by someone, Billy. Meanwhile, at the bar, the Death Threats band is performing. Jacob finds a waitress and asks who writes the band's lyrics. The waitress tells him it's Lazarus, pointing at him. Lazarus notices Jacob right away and immediately tries to flee. Jacob gives chase, but is blocked by someone. Lazarus steals a car and escapes, but Jacob decisively shoots, forcing Lazarus to stop and counterattack. Lazarus jumps out of the car and runs. Soon, Jacob chases him to another residential building, where Lazarus has taken a young girl hostage. In the end, Lazarus successfully escapes, but he leaves behind his wallet. Back at his place, Lazarus is furious. Inside, a girl is tied to a chair. This is the same waitress from the erotic bar. Lazarus extracts Jacob's skin flakes from his fingernails and places them on the waitress's fingers to make it look like Jacob killed her. The scene shifts to the librarian lying in bed. Beside her is another murderer, Billy. It's clear she doesn't know she's in danger, as the seemingly gentle Billy pulls out a knife. Meanwhile, Jacob finds Lazarus's home address through the ID in Lazarus's wallet. FBI agent Miller insists on accompanying him, but when they arrive, Lazarus has already fled. The room is filled with strange symbols. Jacob carefully studies these symbols, sensing that they hide some kind of information. If he can crack them, he might be able to discover Lazarus's murder pattern. While Miller checks the basement, she finds the body of the erotic bar waitress. Jacob deduces that Lazarus's next move is about to happen, and the details are hidden in these strange symbols. Based on the date patterns in the symbols, Jacob predicts that Lazarus will strike next week, but he can't figure out the exact location. Back at home, Jacob continues to research the symbols because he knows that every second counts, and another victim will be lost if he doesn't act fast. Jacob works alone late into the night, and finally makes a new discovery. He finds the address where Lazarus plans to strike. Jacob arrives at the honeymoon bar where Lazarus is expected to strike, waiting for him. He's confident that his judgment is correct. However, while Jacob is waiting at the bar all day, an unexpected event occurs. Billy bursts into his home and stabs his girlfriend to death. At the police station, FBI agent Miller reviews the waitress's report and finds Jacob's DNA on her nails. She starts to suspect that Jacob is the murderer. Meanwhile, the murderer Lazarus really shows up at the honeymoon bar.
Lazarus Jones, FPD, you're under arrest. Put your hands on the... Do it! Baby. Slap him.
Just as Jacob is about to kill Lazarus, 2 police officers arrive and arrest him. After completing his task, Jacob drives back home. At the same time, Miller and Storm are on their way to Jacob's house. Clearly, Miller has already concluded that Jacob is the murderer, hiding behind his police officer identity as a killer. When Jacob arrives home, he finds his girlfriend brutally murdered, which saddens him deeply. Suddenly, Jacob successfully kills Billy but loses his girlfriend in the process. At this moment, several police cars pull up outside Jacob's house. When the police rush into the room, they find chaos. Billy lies on the floor, Jacob's girlfriend's body is on the bed, and Jacob is nowhere to be found. He leaves a letter for his partner, Storm, on the table. The letter states that he has found the killer, his girlfriend is dead, and there's nothing left to hold him back. He plans to find a secluded place to spend the rest of his life. At the same time, Miller tells Storm that she just received a call from the police station. Lazarus has been captured and has admitted to framing Jacob.